What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Taylor Hinton Speaks His Mind, the number one online health and fitness podcast in the world. And today is Form Friday. It's August 14th, 2026. A little bit smoky out there, as per usual for us in beautiful British Columbia in the summer times because of a combination of some wildfires, uncontrollable, and some dickheads who love to set fire to the forest and ruin everybody's time. So, what we are going to be doing, of course, is opening up our Lift and Learn community where we go ahead and review our clients' technique, give them some feedback so they can go back into the gym, lift heavier, and do it safely. And before we even get into it here, I'll just say this: something I need to be way better at doing on podcasts, I should say, is we have our live event coming up for our clients where we are going to be going in person at a local gym in Abbotsford, British Columbia. We are reserving the entire gym space for us and our clients only, where we are going to spend up to 3 hours of time going over form, technique, breaking down everything about how you as a client are working through your movements so that you can get better. So if you're not as strong as you'd like to be, you need to come to this. Plain and simple. That's the criteria. Are you lifting as much as you'd like to? No? Then you need to show up. It's literally $30. This is a client only event. I get that there's a lot of people listening to this who are not clients. We will be doing events where we invite other people out too. But for this one, it's just for our clients. It's 3 hours and $30. It's ridiculously dirt cheap. Like, it's offensive how low we are charging you guys, but we want you guys to come out and get this experience because we know it's extremely invaluable to you. So come out and do it because this is about a third of what we will normally charge moving forward. I don't know how we would charge any less than at least $60 for this, even for clients only. So we want you guys to come out. We want you to have a really good experience and we want you to win and learn. Let's get into it. So I'm sharing my screen. This is our Lift and Learn community page. And we have Jessie up first. And she is deadlifting 185. I think this is the heaviest that she's gotten on her deadlift. Haven't seen this yet. I'm going to turn the volume on initially just to hear her breathing. Okay, not too bad. Didn't hear your breathing at all, Jesse. I'm not sure if you were breathing or if you held your breath the entire time. I'd be surprised if you did. Um, so let's make sure that when it comes to the breathing at the bottom, we're taking a big inhale into our diaphragm, which is essentially your stomach. We're not trying to have our chest rise up by taking a big breath into our lungs, but more into your diaphragm. You should feel your stomach expand laterally. And if you don't really know exactly what that sensation is before you get your hands onto the bar, practice by putting your hands on your waist and trying to push air laterally to the sides to push your hands away from your body. It'd be a good way to get it broken down. And then from there, when you're bracing like that, then you're going to lift up. And as you're lifting up, call it around midway through the lift. Maybe it's at the very top. It really doesn't matter too much. Maybe just not at the very beginning, is when you should be exhaling and exhaling aggressively, having kind of that or or controlled but aggressive exhale. The only way that you're controlling it is by either using your teeth or your lips to kind of create a smaller space for air to escape because you're not going to have like your mouth gasping wide open, right? Also, clenching your jaw or keeping your mouth nice and tight is going to help with you making sure you're doing it properly. So let's make sure that we're breathing properly when we're starting this off. So what we're looking for on the deadlift is once you get the straps ready to go, okay, so feet are at or just inside of hip width, which is good because that then creates the space for you to get your hands, or I should say your arms, perpendicular with the floor. It looks right now like your wrists are slightly outside of your shoulders. So I want you to consider that next time and make sure that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Okay, so you should be perpendicular with the bar. It looks like if we were to be in math class and had our teacher draw that little line on the inside circle, it looks like what we would call an obtuse angle. We want to have a 90-degree angle between forearm and bar. Okay, something there to consider. Small adjustment for you. And then right here, you just created tension in the bar. You're about to pull up, which is nice. What I want you to think about with the setup, I wish that I could get this out of the way that I want to. There we go. So right here, what we want to do is have the bar directly over top of our midfoot. Once it's over top of your midfoot, you're then going to lower your hips to the point of your shins touching the bar. Okay. Once you get into that position, now the next cue is armpits down to the hips. If you can lock your armpits down to your hips, your upper back is going to be braced properly. And then from there, you're going to pull the tension, or I should say, pull the slack out of the bar, which you do here, right there. And from here, it's glutes, 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 driving forward to lift the weight up. Effectively, just push the earth away. That's it. Not too bad. Not too bad overall. I think your second rep actually looks better than your first rep, and same with your third. And this is something that Angela and I see all the time. It's because although you do pull the slack out of the bar here, like you do that little pull, what we want to do is create a little bit more tension in your body. Because when you start to lift this weight up, you kind of kick your hips back and watch your knees straighten out first. The first thing that happens is your knees straighten out. See that? So you've almost turned it. This is an RDL. Like if we just started the video from here, I would be like, oh, you're doing an RDL. So we want to think more about driving your feet through the floor to avoid the knees kicking back. And you can see in the second and third rep, it looks a lot better. Hello, my wife.
Hello, are you gonna let me talk for once on here? I mean,
Let you talk all the time
I know. I just wanted to say hi,
in a
but
controlled environment.
shut up. Um, Jesse, I think this looks really awesome, and I think Taylor touched on every single point that I was planning on making as well, so that's good. Um, I think maybe it's because like maybe you can't hear her breathing just because I think this is just too easy for you, Jesse. Like this is looks like warm-up weight. You're just ripping this up. And like you're doing it in a controlled manner on the way down too. I don't know what your RPE or RIR is here, but like it looks really good. Obviously there's always gonna be tweaking, even with my deadlifts and everything. But yeah, definitely something that we see a lot of the time in these videos and in our clients' videos is just like hips rise way too fast. And I think it's the mental note of pushing through the floor. It's such a weird thing to think about because you're literally lifting something off the ground. So you're like, why would I push through the floor? But that's going to help engage your quads more. And when your quads are a little bit more engaged, you're not going to straighten your legs out as fast. So I just want to touch on those points.
Yeah, Jesse, I know that that might be like frustrating almost to hear. You're like, "What? This is like the heaviest weight that I've lifted yet," you know? But the truth is, and I know that it feels harder than it looks. On video, it always looks so much smoother than it feels in your head, but
Mm.
the video doesn't lie. It shows that you are able to touch and go this weight, so you're not even needing a rest at the bottom. You were like pop, pop, pop right off of the bottom. This is like this is good. Okay. Obviously, like your technique is good. Everything is there. There's again pushing your feet to the floor, engaging the quads, like Angela said. The technical stuff you got now. Okay. Cool. Now let's add another 5 pounds on each side next time you do this lift. And when you come back down to the ground, like let's watch this for a sec. Yeah, you're controlling this weight down quite a bit. So don't control the weight. Let the weight come down hard. Take a second at the bottom. Chill. Fully exhale. Take another breath, and then take a third breath and brace on that third breath, and then re-engage, pull the tension out, and go.
Yeah, like what you're doing, Jesse, is you have 185 pounds in your hands this entire set because of this touch and go. Whereas if it was let's say 205 or something, you probably wouldn't be able to do this touch and go because you have that weight. You're gonna have to rest that weight on the ground and kind of reset again.
Yeah,
But looks really
it's
good.
it's there, Jesse. It's just a little bit more confidence. She is coming to our event, so this is
Nice.
going to be super fun. And Jesse,
I can't wait.
you will probably be deadlifting over 200 pounds. Okay, we've got Truly, barbell squat 175. Okay, Truly, let's see. So I have a little bit of hesitation here to get super excited because last time we saw your 175, the depth wasn't there, and the standard, as you know, Truly. is that we want to see, look at that fucking badass squat rack they got now.
Yeah, it's
Um,
so cool.
we want to see we want to see depth first and then load. Okay. And you're like, fuck it, guys. I'm gonna stick to this heavy load and I'm just gonna get better depth. All right. That seems like a very, very bold move. Let's see what happens here. I have not yet watched this. Stop looking at me for a reaction. I'm looking
You're
at you
looking at
for a
me.
reaction.
You're looking at me. So I was looking at you.
Okay.
I think this is a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Definitely more
exact.
depth.
We are so smart. We're so tuned into each other.
You're looking at me. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I know. And we're both like, okay, it's better, but it's not all the way there yet. Because that's exactly the truth, truly. I think I caught you right here at the perfect at your deepest range right here. This is this is pretty damn close. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. Like
Mhm.
at this point, what you've done to us truly is you've put us in a position where now we're being hyper fixated on your depth because it wasn't there the first time. So now we're like, okay, is it there? It's deeper than before. But can we actually say that her hip crease is at her kneecap yet? No, not technically. But if you just like zoom out, if I look at hip crease and kneecap, the answer is this isn't the depth. But if I look at your body positioning and every like this just looks to me like a good squat. So. You
Mhm.
know, maybe I'm being super generous or something, but I like it. Um, is it technically the depth that we have as a standard? No. So I would say truly, here's my answer for you. If you were to squat any higher than this, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You probably should try to get a little lower. Okay. Also, these like ankles, these high top shoes, like Angela can speak to this because she used to squat in high tops all the time, but it really kills your ankle mobility. The whole point of us, like when we're squatting, one of the key things we're trying to do is get knees over toes and accessing range of motion in your Achilles. You're cut off here because you have laces that literally go up your ankle. So it's acting as a brace and preventing your ankle from bending as much as it can and should. So can we go barefoot here? Can we go in socks only? Do you have other shoes like flat foot shoes that, like think about like your low cut Converse if you have something like that still back from
Yeah.
2006.
It's her home gym, right? So like I
It's your home gym. Yeah.
yeah, wear some socks, girl.
Yeah. I'm just thinking maybe she prefers to have shoes on. It's like if
Hmm.
you prefer to have shoes on, then you can't have something that's cutting off the mobility at your ankle, right? Like
Totally.
imagine you should be able, whatever shoes you're wearing, you should be able to do an ankle box stretch where you put your foot up onto the box and you put all your body weight on your knee so you can stretch your Achilles out. Like if you can't do that with these shoes comfortably, then you shouldn't wear them when you squat.
Hmm.
But let's look at the intensity. So we just criticized the depth. Yeah, the depth needs work. Okay, like the plain and simple. We watch it at full speed. It's not there yet. It's almost there. It's not there yet. So that's good. And then I feel like it was a little bit even less on that one. And that third one looks a little bit better than the second, to be
Hmm.
honest. So it's good. I mean, hey, we're getting stronger, dude. It's looking a lot better than it was.
Hmm. Yeah, like even go to like 165 or 170 and then you'll be able to get that depth a lot better, truly.
Yeah.
And then that now you can work on that a couple times. And by the time you do 175, you know the standard and you're gonna feel so much stronger.
Yep. 100%. The
Right.
intensity is there, though. The technique is there. The only
Hmm.
thing that we had to look at here was depth. Depth is at like a 9.5 out of 10, but 10 out of 10 is the quality we're going for here.
Hmm.
Otherwise, great. Saoirse, thank you so much. I meant to add a little bit more commentary on my post. I was trying. So yeah, this is her for everyone listening on audio only. You should be watching this on YouTube, by the way, so you can see everything. But 70 kg, deadlift, two sets of three, different camera angles, neither are very good. And then she goes on to say, I meant to add a little bit more commentary. I was trying shoulders a little more forward, as you and Angela said last time. Definitely felt the difference. Feel like I'm losing my brace, though, almost as soon as the bar leaves the ground. It doesn't feel like it when I'm lifting, but I can see it in the videos. Okay. So when she says shoulders over, like shoulders forward more, when you're looking at this video here, what she was doing before, which a lot of people do, is they put their weight on their heels and then their chest is coming up way too much and their hips are too low. This is in like your standard deadlift. And the problem with that is that you're effectively just turning your deadlift into a squat, but you're off balance and you're going to be a lot weaker. But when your shoulders, if you just look at it from a side profile doing a deadlift, if your shoulders are directly above or even slightly in front of your hands, where your hands are holding onto the bar, then you're going to have better pressure on the front and back of your feet. So you can lift with more power and your bar path is going to be more smooth, more straight up and down rather than like swinging side to side on the way up. So, yes, her shoulders are decidingly in front of her wrists. As she initiates the lift, they kind of come back a touch, but they're still in front. She's in a good position. But just like she said, like she's very self-aware. Also, you're still wearing your shoes. I forget if you had a reason for that, but you have those foamy shoes. They look like cross-training shoes that have
Mm.
enough foam to do some running, but also like supposed to be weightlifting. It would be better if you had no, the more foam you have in your shoes, everybody, the less power and the less weight you're going to pull off the ground. It's just plain and simple. So I would get rid of those foamy shoes for the lifting. And you're so right. Like again, back to the self-awareness component. Um, God damn, you're right at the beginning here. She's saying like, yeah, I'm bracing and I'm pulling the slack out, but then when I actually lift the weight, I can see the brace giving out. Here's what's happening, Sirsha. You are tensing up your body and you think that squeezing your muscles in your body is pulling the slack out of the bar, and they're two different things. So like you get ready here, let's watch. Right there. You squeeze all your muscles, your armpits are down to your shoulders, your legs and your arms and your hands, your forearms, everything is burning. All the muscles are burning because you're squeezing all your muscles hard. So your body is tense, but there's no tension in the bar. The difference is pulling the weight up without the without the weight coming off the ground. So it's like it's pulling the slack out of the bar is pulling the barbell into the top half of the weights. If you think about, here we go, everybody. This is the inside, this circle with my fingers is the inside of the plates where the barbell enters, and there's enough space inside for the barbell to enter. That's how it's able to enter. When you pull the slack out, you'll feel that little click in your hands of the barbell clicking on the inside top of the plate. And now you can almost feel the barbell slightly starting to bend a little bit in the middle. That is the tension you need to have. So you're tense in your muscles, but you're not tense in the bar. Here's the difference. Tense in your muscles right now, and then watch when you have tension in the bar, you can see your back kind of move right there. And it's more prominent with your second and third rep. You're taking too much time on the negative. You're slowly controlling the negative. Don't do that. Everybody, on your conventional deadlift, particularly if you've been in the program for a few months and you're really focusing on reps that are like under five, don't control the negative. You are fatiguing your muscles and you're making it harder for you to get stronger when you do that. So tension in your muscles right here, right there, tension in the muscle, tension in the back. Back starts to kind of round a little bit. And this isn't automatically a bad thing. Like it's okay to have this as long as you're initially braced in the first place. The deadlift looks really good. Like tell me if I'm wrong, Ange, but the deadlift looks good.
No, it definitely does. I think the first rep, Saoirse, you're definitely too far on your toes. And I saw something recently was like running shoes are made for running. So everyone stop using those squishy shoes for lifting because they're
Mhm.
made for running.
Yeah, this negative control is literally you're like this is what's happening. This is what your body is telling you. You're like, I'm gonna make this way harder than it needs to be, so I can't get as strong. That's what's happening when you slow the negative down. So here's like a good way that you could practice this, especially because this is your own little home gym and you're using bouncer plates. How about this next time, Sirsha? When you do your deadlift, drop the weight at the top. Get here, drop the weight. And when I say that, Angela's face is like, "Whoa, that's scary and dangerous." The expectation is that you're going to use common sense and get your body out of the way of the barbell so it doesn't bust your knees. So when you drop the weight, don't have your legs directly underneath it. Like step back when you drop it. Make sure you're not dropping it on your body.
Or like drop it halfway down.
Whatever feels comfortable for you. Just whatever you do, don't control the negative like you are.
I have just seen, you know, if especially if it's a heavy weight and she's doing it for 3 reps, she's so tense and tight at the top that suddenly if you were just go, poof, it'd be like shocking to your body. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a that could happen, I guess. Um,
You
hello
do you
Raven,
though.
popping in here. Hey,
I said you do you though.
yeah, whatever you do, stop lowering it so controlled.
Yeah.
It's like literally the only lift that we're gonna say that. Again, like the technique is great. You're doing it properly. You have good
Hmm.
form. You just need to like that. See that happening right there? So you're tensing you just flatten out your back, armpits down to the hips. You look like you're in a really good position. You tensed up your body. Your body is tense. But think about you want to almost like think this is how I like to think about it. You've got 70 kg on, right? That you're holding. Right now there is 70 kg in the floor. Like if the floor was a scale, it would register that there's 70 kg of barbell weight on the floor. You want it to register 5 pounds, 2 kg. That's what the weight on the floor should register from the barbell. So if there was like two scales, a scale that was only holding on to the barbell weight, that was only measuring barbell weight, and a scale that only measured your weight, what you would like to do, the way that you pull the slack out of the bar is on the barbell scale would say 2 kg, and your body weight scale would have another 68 kg added to it. So whatever your body weight is, add another 68 kg because your body now is bearing the weight of the barbell before the barbell actually leaves the ground. You do that right here.
Hmm.
See how the bar is still on the ground, and we can see that you're now like this is when your back started to flex a little bit. I know that you now have the weight in your hands. You're bracing like you have tension here. This is all weight of the barbell and your body weight into the scale on the floor here. And the floor that has the barbell on it is only 2 kg. That's what you want. So it's not the answer to your back flexing is not I need to brace harder so my back doesn't bend. It's get your body into a position where it's comfortable, which is right there, and then brace from here. Because it's okay that your back's like this. That's not a problem. The problem is that the brace isn't strong enough. So get here and then brace really hard so it doesn't move from here when you start lifting the weight. Cool? Did you add
Great.
anything else?
No, I don't think so. Other than um maybe Saoirse needs some bracing technique in her warm-ups. I don't know. I have that for certain clients.
There,
Um, just to
yeah,
practice.
that's a good point. I will take a look at that and see. I think that we may have already have that in there, but if not, I'll definitely add that.
Yeah, I really like the 90-90 bracing.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know you do. I added that in for a couple other clients.
nice.
Yeah. Um, overall good. And also, side note, this is actually really, really good camera angles. So
Yeah, great.
lighting is good. Hamstrings look dope as fuck. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what we got. We've got Jasmine, a few new workouts. Went lighter on a couple. Jasmine, I watched these yesterday. Okay. And I say this with love. Get your fucking body tense and stable before you lift the weight. This is a common theme that we have seen. Keep posting these videos. I want to keep giving you the help. Well, we need to keep give you the help feedback. You need to stabilize your body before you move the weight. And when I say move the weight, I mean actually start your first rep because obviously you have to stand up to get in a position with the weight. So I'll play the video and Angela will see what I mean.
Okay. I already know what you mean, but yep.
Yeah. So it's like once you get started in the set or after like your second or third rep, then you look pretty stable for the most part, or more stable, I should say. But right now the bar is well over top of your toes. You are leaning forward. All your center of gravity right now is like where your chin is. Like this is where, like if we had to drop a spot on the floor where your center of gravity is, it'd be like basically right at your collarbone. Like you are on your toes right now. You actually look like you look, if we could just remove this barbell for a second, you actually look like you are in the perfect stance to, Angela, go ahead.
To do a 100-meter sprint.
Yes, to do a 100-meter sprint. You look like you're about to
Gosh, we're so
explode.
good.
You look like you're about to explode forward as fast as you can. That's great when you're doing a 100-meter sprint because all your weight needs to be forward. You're about to launch your body weight forward. Not good when you were trying to stabilize your body and do a lift. Like even more so here. Like this is good. This is good for a 100-meter sprint. This is bad for lifting heavy barbells. So yeah, heels back here. You realize that too. You're like, okay, hold on a second. So we're kind of teasing a little bit here too, but like
She can
also it's
take
a,
it.
yeah, you can take it. It's also a point of emphasis of like you need to really be intentional. Like think less about you're so focused right now, Jasmine, on like picking up the bar, lifting the heavy weight, but you have to control your own body first before you can do that. So get yourself stable, calm down, relax, chill. Okay, and then get the weight up. What's up, Raven? How would she stabilize better? Lower her hips? I mean, just get your center of gravity into a place where you feel like you are stable. Like
Barbell closer to your body. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, the actual steps are bring the barbell closer to your body. Yeah, sure, lower your hips down a little bit. But it's less about that. It's just like where's your center of gravity? Do you feel balanced with your center of gravity on your feet? Do you have even pressure in the front and back of your foot?
Yeah.
Like that's where we want to start. So we still have our weight on the balls of our feet or our toes right now. Okay. And then you effectively did like a deadlift row on your first rep
Hmm.
where you lifted the weight up and while you're still in motion, weights on the balls of your feet. Your heels are literally off the ground right now. From here, you lift the weight up right into the row before we're stable. We still have our feet totally off balance. And then we can see the barbell starts to like dip down on one side. Because again, it all just comes down to being stable and balanced. And then you get into the left and you're like, okay, now I've found my center of gravity. Your heels are back down. You still have most of your weight, like maybe 70%, 60% of your weight's kind of on the front of your foot. All right. So like with a row, everybody too, I've found that if anything, I like to have my weight more on my heels a little bit
Hmm.
more in terms of again, center of gravity. Where are you most stable? If somebody were to come poke you in the chest or poke you in the shoulder, are you going to wiggle around and have to like take extra steps to rebalance yourself, or are you stable and balanced right there? You should be stable and balanced right there. In gym class, your teacher said like get into an athletic stance, and they would make you jump in the air and then land naturally and with slightly bent knees. Like that's a position that's like a standard good position for you to be in for most things.
Hmm.
So that's the balance and stability element of this. In terms of the technique and the actual lift itself, you're almost turning this into what's called a drag curl. And a drag curl is when you are standing tall and you curl the weight up by sliding the barbell up your torso. So you are rowing this weight. Basically, what's happening, Jasmine, is you're rowing the weight too high. Like your end point is way too high for you. And I can tell because your scapula is pulled way back, your shoulders are shrugged up, your elbows are bent at a very high degree. And I know that you felt this in your biceps way more than your back when you did this. So, how do we fix this? Don't overthink it. have your weight slightly shifted back towards your heels a little bit more. And when you pull, pull this barbell into your waist. You will automatically be like, "Oh, this weight's too light now." And that's
Hmm.
true. Once you pull with more stability and from a place of more power, you're going to be like, "Oh, wow, I could add another 10 pounds each side." And then you'll feel it more in your back, like in your mid back rather than in your biceps here. Okay?
Hmm. Yeah.
Anything
I
you'd add
just,
here?
yeah, I just want to quickly add. So, Jasmine, at the very beginning of the lift, stand up tall, stand up straight, and then hinge back into that row position. That's what we want to see. We want to see intention and like step by step by step. What is the next step to lift this weight? Um, but yeah, also for everyone wondering, behind her, it's called a deadlift jack. These things are awesome, amazing. Yes, this black thing.
Yeah.
Once the barbell's like set up, you can like slide it under the bar, push it back, so now the weights are off the ground and you can easily change out the weights. Just wanted to point that out for anyone wondering.
Yeah, if you have most gyms don't have that unfortunately, but if your gym
Yeah.
does have it, really convenient way to load and unload your barbell for
Yep.
deadlifts or any heavy lifts. Okay.
Nice, nice.
Okay, yeah. So this is her this is definitely new too. This is a single arm landmine thruster. And just as a
Okay.
heads up for everybody, when you're doing the landmine exercise, the landmine is when you have the barbell and it's positioned inside of the corner or an angle of the gym. Sometimes it's just like in the side of the wall. Oftentimes they have some type of little attachment that you can slide the barbell into, like a nice fitted attachment. Either way, it's basically barbell at an angle that you can row, you can press, you can push, you do a bunch of different stuff with. And so we're doing a single arm landmine thruster where you squat down and bring the weight down to your shoulder at the same time, and then you stand up and press at the same time. It's all one fluid movement. It's basically a squat with a press included in with rhythm at the same time. And you're effectively doing that here. This is good. The one thing I would say here that we want to try to get a little bit better with is going to be the depth. Okay, so we want to get your hips down a little bit further. They may not end up getting all the way down to knee height because if they did, you would have to rock back onto your heels because of the weight distribution of the landmine. It would feel very awkward for you to do that. So what you can do though to make yourself get a little bit better depth but still have a lot of power is to take a half step backwards so that your back isn't as vertical, but your back almost is like a bit more of this angle here. And then from there, you'll notice that that's going to place a much greater demand on your Achilles tendon to get your feet flat on the floor. Here's a really cool thing about these movements. This is more of an athletic type movement. This is actually one where it's okay if you have more weight on the front of your foot. Again, it's not about like your weight must be even on the ground with your front and back of your foot. We say that as a nice like way to make it easy for you guys to understand the concept of having good stability and balance. But overall, if you can apply the principles, Jasmine, of I need to have good center of gravity, then naturally you'll find that with the landmine bar, having your feet back a little bit more, the weight on the balls of your feet, you're in a good athletic, confident, stable stance. So put your feet back a little bit more, weight on the balls of your feet, get a little bit deeper into your squat. Overall, not too freaking bad, honestly, for your first time doing this exercise. Try to
Hmm.
just think about just getting yourself next time you do this into a position where you feel more stable, more powerful, better center of gravity. You have your weight on your heels a little bit. It's hard for you to get much depth in this one. Just use what feels right for your body, which is going to be feet back here. Squat yourself down a little bit more, be more stable, more athletic, ball weight on the balls of your feet. So your heels will be slightly off the ground with this one. And then from there, just work on the range of motion and feeling really um, in control of the weight before we start adding more weight. Overall, not too bad.
Hmm.
Anything you'd add?
No, I think that's good. When I do those exercises, I like to have my hand more towards the back of the barbell. That's just
Hmm.
me. Um, and then that way, like you can step back a little bit more comfortably and still have that in your hand and feel stable with it. That's just preference, though.
Yeah, I think that will come naturally too when she stands back a little bit more. She'll need to grab
Totally.
more at the end of the barbell. But good point. And then here we've got, okay, so I did take a look at this one already. This, excuse me, negative pull-ups for you. Um, excuse me. And this will just be more of like a setup issue. So just take a look at this, and you felt this when you did this. So next time, just make the adjustment. Just recognize, okay, this is weird, and I need to get in a better position. You jump up.
Mhm.
You don't really jump up very much, so you jump up higher, right? Um, so think about just using your legs more, really. Like jump up high, get your chin up over the bar, and then lower yourself back down. Um, and then looking just at this angle here, look at where your feet are in relation to the bar. Your feet, it's hard to tell from this angle, but I can see by your body positioning that you're almost like if we removed the bar and we removed the bench, we can tell this thing is so annoying. We can tell that you're at a bit of an angle. Like if you let go of the bar right now, you'd fall backwards onto your back. We want you to be more perpendicular with the floor. So just move this bench backwards like a foot. If anything, it's nicer to have the bench or your box when you're getting set up for a pull up to be a little bit further behind the pull up bar. Because then imagine if you were able to do pull like just body weight strict pull ups right now and you had this bench right here. The bench is kind of in the way. And when you start trying to do your pull up, you're immediately starting to swing forwards and backwards. But if you had this bench a little bit further back, then you grabbed onto the bar and allowed your feet to just dangle right in front of the bench, then you could pull up and down comfortably. And when you're done, you just put your feet backwards onto the bench, not forwards onto the bench. So that would be my feedback. And then you just need to jump up higher. You're not jumping high enough to get this lift started.
Totally. Also, like, is there something that you can stand on that's even higher, Jasmine? That would be ideal, I think.
Yeah, that would definitely make it a lot easier for you to get up there. But at
Hmm.
the very least, like you just need to jump up higher.
Hmm.
Raven says vertically challenging challenge problems. I don't think Jasmine's vertically challenged though. I think she's like 5'9", maybe 5'6", I forget. But that's like an, average to a little bit below average female height.
I think that's like average.
Good
Five,
effort.
six.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. What was that?
Nothing. I think it's
Okay.
about average.
Okay, Jess Coster. This is okay. This time it's actually 165 for the flatter shoes. The orthotics felt kind of weird, but I will still use them for squats and deadlifts, adjusting my feet to the wedges. Um, Tried the hip thrusts with the feedback. Not sure if I fully have sorted out yet. You haven't. I watched it. It's much better, but you're doing a combination now. We'll take a look at it in a second. It feels harder than the scoop technique, but could just be because I've been doing that way for so long. Yes, that's true. It just feels
Hmm.
weird because you haven't done it properly in a long time or the way we want you to. So this is the hip thrust. And I already looked at this video. You're doing a combination of the two. You are scooping the weight, but you are starting to thrust it the way that we want you to. I'll let Angela do the feedback.
Yeah, I don't know if you posted this on Instagram or something, or maybe I saw it on here, but it definitely looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Your chest is coming up and down. You're moving your back as one. Um, But think about, let me just try and think of, okay, an RDL, for example. If you do your RDL, and we've seen you do RDLs before, you're not like, you're not doing this with your back. Your butt's back here right now on the hip thrust, right? But we don't do that in an RDL. You're not so curved. We want to keep your back nice and flat. All you're doing is hinging. That's the exact same thing with the hip thrust. Is the only thing you're doing that we need to be doing is hinging. You're still allowing your spine to um to bend, but this is so much better. So can we start from the beginning again, actually? I think it starts from the very beginning.
Hmm.
Like your spine is already curved right now. Keep your spine extremely neutral, big brace. All you're doing is pushing your hips to the sky. That's I think what I want you to think about. And then it's going to look even better for next week. But overall, this is a lot better. Let's take a look at the rest.
Like if I could just add this, think about this, Jess. Maybe this will help. The weight of the bar is pulling your hips down and you are pulling your ribs up. Like your ribs and your pelvis need to be locked into this position here. Like you
Hmm.
need to maintain this with your spine and your pelvis, and then just allow the weight to come down. As the weight comes down, your back is going to have to articulate up here at the exact same degree as much as the weight lowers, your back has to tilt at the same time. You do it a little bit, and then eventually your back starts. My fingers don't bend the other way, but eventually your hips start to sink down lower than your back does, and that's the problem.
Something that I've talked about to my clients before with an RDL, but not a hip thrust, is think of it your body like a door, and like the hinge is your hips. A door doesn't move like this. A door moves like this at the hinge. So you're that door is staying straight. The door is your spine the whole time. But this is definitely a lot better. Um, it definitely feels harder just because you haven't done it like this ever or in a while at least. Um, definitely a lot better though.
Yeah, a lot better. Like we can see when you lose it, right? You are great right here. Good, 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 good. Right here, we start to lose it. You can see your ribs. See how like your back is staying in this spot, but then your hips keep lowering. There, you're good. You're lowering and your back is coming up at the same time as your hips are going down. Still not bad. You're starting to lose it a little bit here. And then watch. Your back basically stays in this position, but your hips go all the way down to the floor. That happening is where we're losing that um whatever Angela's saying. And Angela's smart. And that's it. If I talk anymore, I'm just going to confuse everybody here. So I
Yeah.
like that you have your feet placed better, like Angela was saying, where you got your heels only on the wedges, which is nice. Let's see the rest of this. That is a
Hurt
good set.
totally.
That is hard. Bow.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any feedback.
Yeah, this looks really good. Um, I don't know if you feel comfortable at this depth. Like, I don't think you need to go this deep,
Yeah, it's literally the only
but
thing I was going to say too.
because now you could just be losing your brace in that really deep squat position. So you can cut out a little bit of depth, and then you'll probably feel stronger and also not have your hips rise as much. But like hips rising is usually a sign that you're going heavy enough as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be, you're not going to have perfect positioning at all
Mm-hmm.
times during a squat. The
Mm-hmm.
heavier you go, the more likely your body is going to break down in form, which is why we like hammer it in you guys early on. So I think
Yeah.
this looks really good. Other than try cutting out a little bit of depth.
Yeah, you don't need the same kind of depth. Like, I think this is great. Let's see if you get any deeper. Your second rep, I think you get like the deepest, but this looks like good depth. Let's see if you get any deeper here. Yeah, you go just a touch deeper than you need to.
Hmm.
And then let's watch this. I'll pause it when you can stop. You can stop right there. That's like more than enough. Like,
For
that's
sure.
excellent. You've achieved depth and some, and then you do this. Oh, actually, that was basically the bottom. But yeah, that was more depth than you need there. And then final rep, we can stop right there. Like
There.
that's perfect
That's
right there.
perfect.
That's like the perfect depth. And then way
Ding.
lower.
Which
So
also causes like your lower back to do this,
exactly. Yeah.
and then you lose brace.
Yeah. Once you get to the depth that you need to, stop. Getting any deeper than that is like almost throwing you out of position and making it harder than it needs to.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'll say this. This is like something that is not for everybody, but Jess, you're definitely at the place now where I'd like you to do this. The first half of your squat, I like the control. So this is good. Watch this. That's really good. From here to the bottom, I'd like you to accelerate a little bit. Okay. And this is where we get into more like powerlifting technique. And Angela can speak more to this too. But if you just are super slow and controlled all the way down to the very bottom, then you 100% kill any type of elastic power that you can use to generate more force into the floor and lift heavier weights. Is that the most controlled way to do it? No. But this is one of the techniques that can be used to help break through strength plateaus when you feel like you've hit a bit of a wall, and that can help your body adapt to heavier loads over time. So from here to the bottom, use a little bit of acceleration, like effectively drop your ass down and use a bit of momentum to pop back up out of the hole is what we're looking for. Now,
Mhm.
don't do that through the whole rep. That's why I'm trying to be very, very clear. The first half of the lowering phase, great control. The bottom half here, use a little bit of speed to pop up harder.
Totally. Really great effort though.
Yeah,
Holy.
like unreal. Like this is dope. This is really, really good. And I think we're gonna get the same kind of stuff here.
Hmm.
See, this is something too, and something that I have to sidebar here for a sec. I forgot, but Jesse had the very first video. Jesse, if you are still here, um, the technique in Saoirse's deadlift. If you could watch that and how she waited a second at the bottom and reset before lifting the weight again. I want you to do that, Jesse. I want you don't have to, it's not about how fast you can get through the reps. If you take a second at the bottom, it's not cheating or anything. It's not like you're taking a 5 minute break in between reps, but let go of the weight for a second. Take a breath, relax, build the tension back up in your body, pull the slack out, lift the bar again. Um, I don't know why I thought of that, but I did.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think there are a couple other videos down here too. Okay. Ashley, we didn't get yours in yet. Okay, so we've got some decent weight here now. We've got I think you got like a 35 or a 40. So I'd say the biggest thing, if we could just pick one thing for you to focus on a little bit more. So first off, like the confidence in lifting a little bit heavier is nice. It's nice to see that you're not sticking with like a 20 or 25 pound weight. So that's good. The one thing I'd like to see a little bit more is a bit more forward lean in you. And it doesn't really seem like it's that big of an issue. Like I'm not really picking up on it too much until you bring the weight back down. Because when you're right here, this is a very disengaged position. Like your body, you don't have the tension in your lat. You're not effectively pulling through the back muscles the way that I'd like you to. But if you can effectively just walk your feet back a little bit more so that your back is at a more forward angle, basically dipping your chest down towards the floor a bit more, you'll find that you're putting more weight into this stabilizing hand on the bench. And instead of your body being so upright, like see how acute this angle is between rib cage and active arm. It's a very tight angle. I like to see a bigger angle where it's not quite 90 degrees, so you're not going to get your back parallel with the floor, but call it like maybe 70 degrees roughly is kind of the angle we're going for. Right now you've got like a 30-degree angle. It's very, very tight. So it's almost like you're shrugging the weight, like you're getting a lot in your trap rather than in your back. And if I know your goals, and I do, don't remember you saying anything about having big, massive traps, Ashley. So a little bit more forward angle. That'd be the biggest cue I think that I have for you. But Ange,
I want to see this side. But yeah, I definitely the first thing I thought of was step back more so you have that forward lean more.
yeah, you're way too vertical here. I think the weight is appropriate.
Yeah. Let's try this weight next week with st the cues that we talked about. Step back a
Yeah.
little bit. Hmm.
Yeah, and
Excited.
yeah, you're strong enough to lift that weight. I know that you are. You may feel like when you first heard us saying, "Okay, you got to lean forward more." I'm sure the first thing you thought of was, "Oh, I'm gonna have to lower the weight." No, you don't. Just stick with that weight, rip it real hard, pull hard and aggressive. You got that.
Totally.
Okay, so we've got a back extension here. This is a warm up movement for her.
Hmm.
So clearly, glute focus back extension is what we have.
Yeah.
And the first thing I would say, or maybe ask rather, for you, Ashley, is are you feeling a really good squeeze and tension in the glutes? And if the answer to that is yes, then you probably don't have a whole lot to change because this generally looks pretty good. I'll let Angela speak to it more if there's anything else, but I like it.
Yeah, first thing is definitely you need to lower that pad. It's a little bit too high up on your hips. So lower it one notch lower if it does go any lower. If it doesn't, then we'll just have to make do with this. But you see how like when you bend down, it's literally in the top of the
Hmm.
pad is in your hip crease. We want it just below so you can add more range of motion.
Hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, you're literally, I know that you're feeling that. It's like bumping into your hips
Hmm.
and you can't lower anymore. It's like it would hurt, even
Yeah.
pressing your bones into the pad. So, yeah, I think, what is it? You can't zoom in, of course, but yeah, if you
Hmm.
can, try to lower it. If you can't, can you put a 45 pound or two 45 pound plates underneath the bottom of your feet to elevate your feet a bit more? Get your hips up over that pad a bit more. Might be a
Or even
solution
like
for
those
you.
yoga blocks.
Yeah, yoga blocks could work too.
Mhm. Yeah. Great job though.
Okay. We have got, looks like a box squat. Okay. So, as a bit of an aside here, for everyone watching this, I want you to think about this for a second, okay? However long you've been lifting and lifting weights for, understand that Ashley is really only started lifting weights in the last 5, 6 months,
Wow.
okay? She's just started now. So there's some the biggest thing for Ashley really is the technique improvements that need to be made. There's a lot of things that we can work on with your technique. And that's no knock. I mean, I've been weightlifting for literally 21 years, 22 years, and I still can improve my
And he's still
technique
not better than me.
with my squats. So that all that being said, Ashley has it looks like 165 or 175 maybe. She's got a 45 and it looks like maybe two tens on the side.
Hmm.
Ashley's got 175 pounds on her back, everybody. Okay. Now, this is, if I'm being super transparent, this is less about like, wow, look how strong Ashley is, and more that a lot of you aren't really giving yourself like, the, what is it? The benefit.
Mm.
Yeah. Or the opportunity. Like, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to really work hard enough to get strong. Like, I think there's this cap for a lot of people, particularly women, of, oh, this is a weight that's really, really heavy. And you just like, for whatever reason in your head, it's like, that's too heavy. I can't lift any heavier than that. But I want you to try to think beyond that. Think beyond what you think is supposed to be a weight that's hard and just actually lift what's really hard. The cool thing about Ashley is she doesn't have that limitation. There's nothing in her brain that's telling her that this weight is too heavy for girls or too heavy for me or whatever that is. She's just picking up heavy weight because she's like, I can lift this weight. I'm lifting it. And again, like, can she improve her technique? Absolutely. There's things that we can fix. But she's not limited by her mindset and how much she can lift. So on the technique side of things, um, you know what, Ashley? The first thing that stands out to me is stability. Okay. You can have a bit more control when you're lowering this weight. When I The way that I like to think about this and articulate myself when I say this is, if I was in the gym with you while you were doing the squat and I decided we're going to play a game of Simon Says during the set, you ready? And you go, yeah, cool. And the game of Simon Says is simply me as your coach saying, Simon says stop, Simon says go, Simon says stop. At any point during the middle of your set, you should be able to stop on a dime when you're doing that. So when you go back and watch Jess Coster's video of her squats, if I was doing that with her, granted she was lifting really, really heavy, so if I made her stop and start midway through her set, she wouldn't be able to finish the rep. But my point is that she had the control that if I said stop, she would be able, boom, right there. It doesn't matter at what point in the rep, whether it was at the very bottom, midway through, at the very top, doesn't matter where, she'd be able to stop. If you and I were doing that right now, you would not be able to stop on a dime because you have a little bit too much momentum carrying you upwards and even on the way up. Sorry, down and even on the way up. So a little bit more control, particularly on the negative, especially on that second rep there. You use quite a bit of momentum to kind of bounce yourself off of the chair, off of the seat. That one was okay, but the depth wasn't there because what's happening is you're standing so close to the bench right now, Ashley, that you can feel the bench touching actually the back of your thighs, like your hamstrings. Your glutes didn't. Oh, this is the second rep. On the first rep, right there, your hamstrings touching the bench. It's not actually your glute. So you need to just stand forward a little bit more. And then when you sit down, sit back just a touch. When you're squatting straight. Like there's no, your back is perfectly vertical. Andrew's probably waiting for me to get to that spot, to that
I
point.
really am waiting to just say something.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, go finish what you're gonna
No, no,
say.
no, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, okay. First, yeah, Ashley, this looks really good. Like you're clearly a strong woman and like you're able to lift this weight. Something that you want to look at, like that I'm looking at, is something called bar path. So if you take a line with your mouse or your finger and we start where that bar is right now at the very top, yeah, and then you see it kind of do this later on your rep. You see how just like it's curving forward at the bottom of your rep? Yeah, at the bottom of your rep. That means that you're bending your hips and your knees at the same time. So that, let's say you had no box under you and you were doing a full depth squat, you'd be falling forward way too much and you wouldn't have the strength or the stability to come back up all the way. So having a more direct straight bar path means for you specifically, Ashley, that I want you to actually hinge your hips back slightly first and then squat down. We actually went over this with Maxwell a week or two ago,
Hmm.
because at the bottom of his squat, he was leaning forward a lot and he felt like all of his, like the bar path was like this. So to prevent that and to have that bar path straight up and down in our center of gravity the whole time, I want you to hinge your hips back first before you bend your knees and then squat down. Now, you can do it two separate motions if you want. I've seen people like elite powerlifters do that, but you can also do. You can make it a one fluid motion, but I would just practice like body weight. Hinge your hips back first, squat down, and then you're going to feel a lot more centered. Because, like I said, once we take this box away, you're gonna feel you're falling forward a lot. But I really just wanted to get to that because that's like one of the most prominent things that I noticed in this video. But other than that, like you're gonna feel so much stronger immediately when you do that.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm just noticing now that you have the pad on, take the pad off, okay?
Mm.
Because if you're using this pad, what that is it's a crutch for you to have bad bar placement on your back. Because if you have this on your bar, then you could put this right on top of your neck and you won't feel it, and that's a problem. We want you to not have to use this to get rid of pain. So this bar, it should be on your upper trap at the very least. So Ange, if you could spin around and show us the upper trap area, because then I can like actually point it out. Okay. So nope, go back. Go. I was gonna ask. Go ahead. Spin back around. Can you touch your up where the bar should be on your back?
The high bar,
Yeah,
like right on here.
yeah. Right across this
Not
spot.
up
If you
here.
can you move your hair? You have the bar right now, kind of where her necklace is. That's why you have to have that pad. But if you had it like 2 inches down right here, when you pinch your arms onto the bar, your scapula is going to pull back, and then that meat on your back there is going to be a nice cushion for the bar. You're good now. Um, that's what you want to have, and you won't feel any pain with the bar on your back that way. Okay. And for Jasmine watching this, because I know Jasmine will be watching the whole thing all the way through. I really hope she does. Can you please take a look at just how Ashley gets her set up? This is important for you. This is what I want you to do. Watch her. Okay. Her feet are technically where they need to be. But now watch how much time she takes getting set up and ready before she actually squats.
Hmm.
She's here, takes a breath, braces, and then she goes for it. Like I like to just think of it as treating the weight with respect. Simple as that. Get yourself in a good position. get stable, center of gravity ready to go, visualize the movement, and then lift the weight. And she does a really good job of that. So I watched this one, Ashley, already, and I noticed this is a common theme, and I think I need to make a video of this. Um, but when you're pressing this, Jasmine does this too, is you girls are pressing this weight way out in front of you, way out in front of your center of gravity. So when you press, what you need to do from the bottom here, this weight should be underneath your chin, like literally underneath your chin. And then when you start pressing, pull your head back and out of the way of the bar. And then once the bar crosses over top of your skull, punch your head back through, or more importantly, your sternum. Push your sternum back through. Back to that bar path that Angela was talking about. Same thing with the overhead press is the back squat is the deadlift. That bar path needs to be straight up and straight down as much as possible. Watch your bar path. When you press, this bar finishes way out here. Well, you moved out of the way, so I can't really see it anymore. But it's still very clear. We have the bar, so elbows up. Get those elbows up a little bit more. Okay, and then right here is where the bar is to start. And as you press, you have it way out in front of your face when you finish.
Hmm.
If you drop that bar, it would slam down on your chest right now. What you want to be able to do is if you drop the bar, you want it to split your head in half horizontally. That's where you'd like the bar to be. That's where it needs to finish. Okay. So push your sternum through, bar path straight up and down. Arm angle. Think about that. Wrist and shoulder should be stacked straight over top of each other. Remember stacking the joints Angela was talking about? That's what we want with this too. Go ahead, Ange.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Stack the joints.
Nothing else?
Nope, you covered it.
Okay. Cool. Okay. What do we have next? Overhead press again. I think your hand positioning is good. I think the only thing here that I'm noticing now too is your knuckles are kind of pointed backwards like this.
Mhm.
So that tells me that the barbell is resting up here closer to your knuckles, which is going to put a lot of pressure when you put heavy weight on your wrist because it's going to force your hand back like that, and that's going to hurt. We want to have your knuckles pointing up to the sky right here, straight up rather than back behind you. So the way to do that is instead of having the bar resting here, put the bar more here. And it'll actually kind of be at this angle. So it'll be from here down to there on both hands when you grab the bar. And so when you grab it, you'll then have to tuck the elbows in and effectively try to break the bar this way. That's going to be a lot of tension in the bar, and that's going to make it move a lot smoother. So we're not just, and this goes for virtually everything, guys. We're not just letting the bar rest in our palm. We want to squeeze and bend and twist that bar in our hands to create the tension that we need to lift the weight.
Totally.
Totally, she says.
Totally.
And we've got another angle
Nice.
of the row. So I love this too, by the way. When the weight gets really heavy, she's actually squatting down to grab the weight. She's not bending over and then using her muscles to get herself in a position. I do the same thing when I'm rowing because I'm using weight that's really, really heavy and I don't want my first rep to be like just getting set up. So that's nice. And you'll have to just move this bench out in front of you a little bit so we can have a greater angle because this right here with our math problem is just too tight of an angle. 25 to 30 degrees is not enough. Let's get that to about 70 degrees or so by lowering your spine. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Barbell squat third set. Hate this angle. Wanted to show you guys my knees. I also lowered the rack as suggested so I don't have to go up and unrack and re-rack. But the bar, but I felt like this is too low and I'll injure myself having to lower the bar back down. Nope, not at all. The what you are thinking of, Aubrey, when you're racking it is you're thinking of going over to the rack and looking side to side, having your feet way behind the rack and then leaning forward and lunging into the rack. That's unsafe. Don't do unsafe things. Just walk into the rack until
And
the
then
bar
squat back down.
You don't need to look either side because you know that the barbell is longer than the racks. So all you got to do, that's the beautiful part about having the J hooks low enough is that if they are low enough, which you have them now, they're 100%. You don't even have to look. You know that they're low. So now all you got to do is close. You could close your eyes if you want. You can just walk in until you feel the weight bang into the rack, and then you can just drop straight down. That's it. It's actually much, much safer on your back,
Hmm.
contrary to our belief. Okay. So yeah, this is great.
That's
Again,
yeah.
this is like perfect. You've done it and I want to see before you even watch the video. Yeah, see you got your feet behind the rack. You're looking to be like, am I there yet? Don't look to see if you're in it. Just walk into the rack. Then you don't have to look. So let's look at the lift itself now.
Yeah.
And Aubrey, I noticed this too because I watched this video earlier. Same thing that I would say to Jasmine: get yourself stable, get yourself in position first, and then squat down. You're squatting as your foot, and we won't go too much into this because I actually already did this review with Aubrey live on a call recently. But
Hmm.
as you are walking back, like you're literally taking your final step as you're squatting down at the same time. It's almost like you're doing a pistol squat for the first 5 inches.
Hmm.
That left foot right there that was kicking out, you're kicking that foot out and you're already starting to initiate your squat. And this foot is like, now I'm getting stable. You're already
Hmm.
halfway down and that foot finally planted on the ground. So respect the weight, stay stable. How go ahead, Ange, because I already gave her some feedback on this, but
Hmm. I think maybe stance is just too wide. I don't think you have the maybe the glute medius strength or like minimus to like keep your
mm,
knees out.
good point.
So you can either A, do some more abduction exercises with bands, things like that, or to strengthen up the smaller muscles in your glute, or immediate effective squatting technique. We just narrow in our stance a little bit more while still keeping your toes out a little bit though.
Yeah, that's I think the important thing is because you have wider hips. If you were to just narrow your stance but keep your toes straight, I know that your hips are going to be banging into each other, into your femurs, right? Um, when you're squatting down, like that would be a really big pinch that you'd feel in your hip. So if you do bring your stance in a little bit, make sure your toes are still pointed way out and you are pushing your knees up. But I think that was definitely the cue that I missed was it's not even a cue, it's that your glute min and glute med is really weak. That's why your knees are caving in so hard and your hips like it looks like yeah, your hips are almost like tilting and everything as you're squatting with this. You're strong enough to lift this weight. Like this weight isn't too heavy, but your
For
glutes are
sure.
just too weak. So let's get some of that stuff in there.
Heck yeah.
Um
Mhm.
so what I need to do with Ange on a quieter day at the gym is go film how to do our burpees and stuff. You definitely like you're doing a good job of conserving your energy and being calm when you're doing these burpees, which is nice. But by the time you get to your burpees, you're going to be so fatigued that you won't even have the energy to like jump with both feet back. Like how you jump both feet back like that, you are going to be walking. The same way that you walk your feet up is the way you're going to walk your feet down. So I want to give you this. It, I'll try to do my best and I'll do it quickly here on how to get your form better or your efficiency better is what I should be saying. So we jump. Okay, cool. We land. Okay, this is good. Now, hands down, you're going to, once your hands are down, yes, one foot back, other foot back. Now, here's where we can be more efficient. That's not what I want. What the hell? Pause that. This, playback speed. This is where we can be more efficient. One, now it's, I can't even do it at the same properly because you're doing two things at once. You're jumping your feet back and you are doing the negative part of a push up at the same time. Okay, so you're doing two things at once here. And it may seem more efficient because it's two at one, but it's not. Watch what I want you to do instead is once you kick your feet back, I want you to roll your body onto the floor, starting with your hips. So keep your elbows in, okay? Hips down to the floor with your chest up, and then you will roll to your stomach onto your chest and do the exact opposite to get back up. Push your hands into the floor, chest comes up first, and then your stomach, and then your hips. As your hips are coming up, so you lowered at the same time, like you are using your chest is having to lower your entire body weight down rather than just your upper half. Because if you just get your legs flat on the ground first before you, with your arms still fully extended, now you don't have to lower your leg weight and your upper body weight. You just have to lower your upper body weight because your legs are already resting on the ground. Okay, that's that rolling down, rolling back up thing I'm talking about. From here, you extend as you are pushing up, you jump one leg up at the same time as high as you can to your hands. You push up. You did a good job right there. That's actually awesome. Push up, get that leg up, and then you push this foot into the ground to bring the second foot up at the same time. Not bad. Big jump. Good. And here's something cool that she's doing as well, everybody. She's not landing, standing up, and then lowering back down. As she lands, so right here, what a lot of people will do is they will punch their feet into the ground hard and stand up tall and then lower themselves down. Why would you do that? You're already halfway down. Just go down. Like, nice. Again, you're going to do one foot down. You're already starting to bend your elbows. So you are negative push upping your entire body weight. I want you to get your legs on the ground and then roll your hips down, stomach down, and then chest up, stomach up, hips up. The only thing you're doing quote unquote wrong here or inefficiently is your push up. The push up part, you're pushing up and down your entire body weight. Otherwise, not too shabby.
Shibby.
Barbell, 175 for 5 reps. Pretty freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Sirsha, this is the negative that I want you to do.
I was just thinking that.
And yeah, just let that weight come down hard. And then you can take that breath and reset, rebrace. Great brace. Shoulders right over top of the wrist. Hey, truly, this is a really fucking good position here. The barbell looks like it might be a little bit too far forward. It's hard to tell here. I don't know. It looks pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her freaking face. She's got a mean face on. She's got a bunch of blood in there. She's holding her breath hard.
Yes,
That's
pretty
some
damn good.
good ass shit there. I like it. So here's the deal now, truly. Don't go heavier. You don't need to go heavier now. You're good here. This is heavy. This is challenging. Your body is under a lot of strain and pressure. Now, what you need to do is make this look prettier. Make this weight feel lighter by continuing to do this weight for the next few weeks. And when you do go up to 185, let's say, you're not going to be able to just jump to 185 and do another 5 fucking reps. Okay. It's going to be like 2 to 3. So when you are feeling ready and prepared to lift a little bit heavier, remember the neurological demand on the system is not going to allow you to add weight and maintain reps. You're going to have to lower one. And that doesn't mean that it's a net zero just because you're lowering the repetitions. Your body is not, does not, it is foreign for your body to lift 185 off the ground. So when it does that, you're creating a new neural response, even if it's only for 1 to 3 reps. Okay. So good shit. Don't get too big of an ego and lift too heavy and then fucking hurt yourself. All right. This is perfect. This is perfect, perfect, perfect. Something that we all can work on. This is something that Angela and I always, I still know that both of us are actively trying to get better at, and something that you'll never stop trying to get better at, is pulling the slack out of the bar first. You're doing a much, much better job than even when I saw you in person, truly, but you can still get better at that. So keep trying to pull the slack out of the bar. And again, over the next 3, 4 weeks, you're not lifting any heavier than this. You just need to make this look and feel much lighter. Okay, Emmy. Last bent over. You know what? I gave. Is this next one is Max? So I gave Emmy and Max both feedback on this already, personally, and we
Cool.
are way over our normal time that we would do. So I think we're gonna be good here,
Cool.
especially because I don't think that there's any feedback that I have to add on this. This is looking really good. It's just let's add a bit more weight over time. You're obviously lifting much heavier than you were before. A combination of heavier weight, and also you could probably get a little bit better on the negative here, like a little bit more control on the negative. So that's good on that. And then Max's only feedback, if you guys want to watch Max's that I gave him, was he needs to probably lower the weight a touch because his knee isn't getting quite as low as we'd like. This was actually the better knee. So
Mm.
this one got lower, but when he switched sides, this one was maybe a little bit worse. I think your foot needs to come forward a little bit more. It's going to help you get a bit more range of motion, and you definitely need to get that knee down a little bit more. Trying to add any more weight from here, I know what's going to happen is you're just going to have worse range of motion, and we need to make that the standard first. So get that knee down a bit more. You're also probably really vertical right now with your torso. If you're able to get your chest down just a touch, you'll feel more confident. So chest down a touch, foot forward a touch. That's going to give you a bit more confidence to get that knee a little bit lower too.
Safety bars.
Yeah, yeah. Get yourself in the safety bar, bro. If you dump that weight, especially on the Bulgarian
Oh
split,
God.
I mean, it'd be bad enough doing a back squat, but on the Bulgarian, man,
Ooh.
there's a mess of different things that could happen.
Yeah.
Um, I just want to double check and make sure there wasn't another video in here from somebody
This is not
else.
lift and learn.
I know that.
Oh.
But I thought I saw Brittany post a video. Maybe she posted it in the wrong channel. I'm wondering. No, doesn't look like it. Okay. I think that is all, everybody. Okay.
Cool.
Whew, we are done. Okay. If you're a client, frickin' come to our event. Man, my arms look good. It's $30. All right. 3 hours. September 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Shoot your coach a message. It's me or Angela, and we'll get you set up. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend.